Good evening. I'm John Scarborough, and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe is busy with family business tonight. Here we have the ever lovely Dan Hollyfield and the equally lovely Bill Sartain. How y'all doing tonight, guys?
Getting by.
I'm recovering from my little outpatient surgery, and I've already been scolded by Laura for driving afterwards.
That will happen.
And thank you for picking that up, Dan. I didn't realize I was down there that long.
Oh, that's okay. I regret that we didn't get the full opening sequence tonight because John had to step away, and it got down to 0 minute, and I went, no, started the show, but forgot to hit start broadcast.
You know, you think they'd put that in like one button or something. That's
yeah.
Make it a click. We need to talk to them about that. Maybe make it a click on option.
Or
you know how they got the thing you can click on audio or click on replay? Have it click on, start broadcast.
Have an option to where when the counter goes to 0, it starts whether you want it to or not. Hey, Carl and Walter. Hey, and Sarah.
Walt, Sarah, Carl.
I think I caught the sciatica from Dan.
I didn't realize it was a communicable disease.
Apparently, everything these days is a communicable disease. Inflation, depression, just different. Yeah.
That'll teach you for kissing Dan.
Well, he's got his new teeth
out. Yep. Trying to get used to these. I will whistle when I say S's until I get used to the darn things. Tomorrow night, I get to attempt to learn how to eat with plastic teeth. It's my mother's birthday, as well as my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter's birthday. My oldest daughter has to stay home and take care of one of my granddaughters who has strep throat. So, hello, Keisha. But
hello,
it'll
Donna.
be my brother, sister-in-law, my sister, brother-in-law, my niece, my wife and I, and Mama. And we will be going to a restaurant where the air conditioning will be about, 28 degrees below 0. And I will wish that I had an overcoat.
You'll be chattering those plastic teeth.
Probably.
Hey, Dan.
And Dan, why did you not opt for the wooden ones?
Beavers. What did you expect me to say?
Yes.
Yeah, really.
She didn't really explain that too well.
I left it open for interpretation for those in the guttural minds. And Hey, Dan, find you a restaurant that's got one of those outdoor areas you can eat, like the umbrella cafe, and then, like push everybody out of the air conditioning.
Really.
Mm.
Take the 45, shoot a few in the air, and people will leave us alone.
Hey, Gary.
Um, what do you mean it's not the same Dan that you know? Yes, it is.
Yeah, your face looks longer.
Well, it's the bionic teeth.
Now, me personally, I would love to get those same teeth that Richard Keel had
Oh
in,
yeah.
in The Spy Who Loved Me, the big stainless steel ones that can bite through steel
Mhm.
cable.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't need teeth to look pretty. I need to eat
Mm.
and cut steel cable. Um,
What worries me is the uppers, the plastic covers the roof of your mouth.
yeah.
How am I supposed to taste anything?
Hmm. So you got
This
one of
is
them. You got one of them full insert sets, huh?
I got the full deal. I got the full deal, top and bottom, but not implants. So I couldn't afford the $1,200 per implanted thingy.
No, I want some of those stainless steel Richard Keel teeth, so that I don't have to use a steak knife.
Mm. You just pick up the plate and take a bite out of the china and everything.
My 13-year-old niece's braces kind of look like that right at the moment, but hers are turquoise.
Mm. Kiri, you got some splaining to do.
Broke Windows 95.
We bought Windows 95 20 years ago.
Mhm.
It's quite easy. You just use it and it breaks.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, I've got a computer over here still running Windows XP.
Yep,
I
I
can't.
got I got that and a laptop. I've got one out in the barn still running Windows 3.1.1.
Got you beat. I've got a Commodore 128D that'll run what is it, Comp 3.0. It's-
Hmm.
it'll run a Commodore 64, Commodore 128, and Comp 3.0.
Well, if you want
But
bragging rights,
it was one of the high end Commodores. It had the 5.25 inch floppy drive, and not the cassette drive or the cartridges.
hmm I've got a Trash 80 out in the barn with a 5.25 inch floppy drive and a printer that only works because I figured out how to put a paperclip in the right place. Uh, Memories.
I'm glad I wasn't into computers back in those days
Oh,
to go
okay.
through all the crud that everybody had to go through.
Yeah, it's programming evolution. I can see how that could happen, Kiri. Yep. Um, just reinstall with the original Windows 95 disk. Don't everybody have one of those?
I'm curious. You know how Windows keeps upgrading and then they quit servicing their older stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you hang on to those computers and eventually their copyright drops on the older stuff, could some company come out with
With
a
new fixes?
compatible version of, like, you know, Windows 95 or uh,
I, th-
Windows XP or something like that? This will make your Windows XP work on the internet. You know,
I think the big problem would be that um, operating systems have gone from 4-bit to 8-bit to 16-bit to 32 to now 64. Uh, Stuff that runs on a 64 has a lot of trouble running on a 16-bit.
But, I wonder how much information humanity lost just because Microsoft upgraded.
Mm,
Think of all the photographs that you've got stored on a computer that ran Windows XP or Windows 95 or any of those.
95, 98.
That computer over there has a half a gig hard drive in it, and it's running Windows XP.
Yep. Let's just say I'm glad that I copied all of the Betty Page photographs to a data CD.
Now they're trying to get you to go to the cloud so that you can't use compact disc or DVDs to copy all the stuff on. A lot of the new laptop computers and stuff like that don't even have drives.
My desktop doesn't have an optical drive at all. I use
This
one
one,
that plugs into USB.
this one did, but it's the first thing that broke on the computer was the damn disk drive. So I'm gonna eventually, I'm gonna see about ordering a new disk drive for it. And the battery died.
Oh, your clock won't keep time.
No, I keep it plugged in, so that thing.
Exactly.
Okay, Facebook user. Oh, I got to find that darn banner. Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
You got to
There
do
you
that.
go.
That thing over there that says StreamYard.com Facebook. And basically, you got to give Facebook permission to use your name on StreamYard. Doesn't do anything to your computer, but it does send us a lot of your money.
No, it doesn't. Never sent me a dime.
Yeah.
I've been cheated.
Facebook user, is this Rob? Because I was just talking to a friend of mine and he had no idea about this show. So I shared Dan's link on my page and kind of wondering.
Strange.
And I told him the same thing ahead of time.
Carl was talking about this, about how old photos, DVD.
Yeah.
I would have to move them with a thumb drive or something because you can't get on the net with Windows XP anymore. But
I used to.
one of the first things I did, and it's the main reason I bought any of the modern electronics, is I bought good cameras. I bought a phone with a 5.1 megapixel camera in it. Not because I like telephones, but because I thought a digital camera with 5.1 megapixels would be pretty cool back in the day. And then I'm still using this, my little Sony CyberShot, because it's a 3.1 megapixel and actually take a pretty damn good picture still. This thing, the laptop I'm using, actually has a damn good camera in it. I was pleasantly shocked at seeing some of the pictures it took, except they tend to be a little red. That's my only point. It's like a blue filter or something. Wait a minute. Maybe I didn't take the manufacturer's sticker off.
Yeah.
No, they put that little blue plastic strip on a computer so you don't scratch it. And just my luck, I left it on there all this time.
Yeah, that works.
When I worked at Lowe's,
no plastic. Okay.
I occasionally would go out with the delivery driver if he had to deliver like a side-by-side refrigerator or a bunch of cabinets or something.
Plastic protective stuff on it inside,
all over
the back of the drawer.
So we delivered a matching washer dryer to these people's house. I won't tell you how old they are because I don't want to seem like certain people aren't kind of with a lot of things as compared to others, but I'll just say we got everything in there. And of course, Lowe's, they hook it all up, unhook the other stuff and haul it away if you want them to haul it away. So bringing the others out, the old out first, and then we got pulled in there and the woman says, "No, this ain't going to do. You're going to have to take that back and put it on there." And he said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, we ordered a pure white with black trims, washer and dryers. They matched, and these don't match, and they got blue on it. And the delivery driver says, well, he said, I can fix that for you. And then he just went, rip, rip. And her face turned about 3 shades of red. And he goes, ma'am, don't worry about it. He said, you're not the first person to fall for that, and you won't be the last. But I mean, she was furious. She was like, how dare you deliver especially at the time, I think delivery fees were, I want to say around $79, with the exception of when they had the special for free delivery, which was not all the time. But that's all it was. It was just all the stuff that went on the faceplate around the dials and that. And she thought we delivered a blue washer and dryer to her.
If it were me, I'd prefer the blue.
I didn't think it looked that bad, but
I can't wait till we replace all our kitchen stuff, fridge, stove, microwave, everything. And my wife goes, "Hey, these are cardboard. Bring us the real deal. We ordered stainless." Rip. But probably that won't happen. Lindsay's not unobservant.
When I first got my 40-inch Vizio TV, big flat screen, got it in, and we were hooking it up and turned it on, and like, wow, this is a great picture, and the one we got, well, Laura's got a membership at Sam's Club, so we got it through there. And I watched it for about 2 weeks, and one time she come over and she says, "Aren't you going to take the plastic off the front of the screen?" I said, "No, that's my dust protector."
It'll make it
now
easier to dust.
Now the thing about it is, once I took that off, started watching it, I couldn't tell any difference.
First laptop I bought came with a plastic cover on the top of the laptop just to keep it from being scratched and everything like that. I kept that thing on there the whole time I was in Iraq, and it finally just the glue dried up and it fell off. But I was in Iraq. I said, that might come in handy here with all the crap we're going through. So.
Yeah, really. And I imagine that if you hadn't been there, it might have lasted longer.
Oh, yeah, naturally.
The only problem with that computer is it had this really nice glossy screen. And I bought it. It was Toshiba. They had this picture of a fish tank with 5 tropical fish in it. And it looked so realistic. Just a simple little fish tank program that they had as a screensaver kind of thing. And I looked at that and I said, that's the computer I want, because it's got the big screen, it's got the DVD, CD drive. What was really cool about that was, too, you didn't have to turn on computers. You didn't have to turn on power up the computer to play CDs and DVDs. You could just put it in there and it worked just like a DVD or CD player.
Oh, okay.
Play music to the speakers or play it on the screen, but you didn't have to power up any of the processors to run the thing, which was real cool. Save power when you're watching movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day about that one movie, Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the movies that I bought to play on that thing while I was. That was one of the first movies I ever actually ran on that thing.
But just before the show, I watched 2 or 3 making of or review sort of things about Dark City.
Yeah.
And I love that movie. It's complicated. It's kind of spooky, and it's a mystery as well as well, I want to say a precursor to the Matrix, but they were probably being made at the same time.
Did you ever see this? I'm going to ask your opinion on this one just because I've heard so many varied opinions on it. There was a movie called City of Lost Children.
Mm.
If you like Dark City, you kind of like this one.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
I'll look for it. I'll just say that.
Okay.
And then
Anybody notable in it, or?
Ron Perlman. I can't remember the Italian guy. Can't remember his name. That's my one pet peeve about myself, is that I cannot remember people's names to save my life.
Mm.
I think the Army ruined me on that because everybody had their name over their right tit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Ron Perlman, you'll recognize the villain in the movie because he's this famous Italian actor that's been in a lot of stuff. I think he's even played Nosferatu once or twice. Okay, I just tell you, watch the movie. You can read the names yourself because I can't remember.
A couple days ago, I was guy here in Oakwood had another commission he wanted me to do for him, and I got that done. So I'm taking it over there to him. I had my Ramones T-shirt on, and so he comes out to the car, and I get my big case out and get his commissions out of there and that, and he looks and he says, "Oh, you like the Ramones?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, first album I ever bought, and I bought brand new, was Road to Ruin. And I had my favorite song of theirs on there called I Just Want to Have Something to Do. A lot of people call it Tonight because, they always go, tonight, tonight, tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually called I Just Want to Have Something to Do. And so we get talking about the Ramones. And so I said, have you ever seen Rock and Roll High School? He says, oh, yeah, I've seen it 100 times over. Have you ever saw it? Yeah, I saw it brand new in the theaters when it was out.
Yeah.
And, of course, a million times over on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, who was that main character in there? I mean, besides the Ramones. I said, female or male? And he goes, female. And I said, Riff Randall? He goes, yeah. What was her name? I said, PJ Souls. And so he says, he goes, I really liked her in that. And I said, did you like her in Stripes? He goes, Stripes? He goes, the Bill Murray movie? I'm like, yeah. I said, have you seen that movie? And he says, yeah. I said, well, then you saw PJ Souls because she was the love interest to Bill Murray on that movie. Her, and I can't think of the other actress's name that were the guards, But,
what's her name? From
no, if I heard it. Dark hair.
From Blade Runner.
Yeah. Help us out, Carl.
That doesn't narrow it down very much.
Played the android, or the android that wasn't supposed to be an android.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. The one with the hair.
Yeah, that one.
That looked plastic. The plastic hair, rather.
The one he didn't shoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one he
That's
ran
one way
away
of
with.
describing it.
The one he ran away with. Yeah.
I dumbfounded this guy about her being in Stripes. And I said, yeah, I said that, I think it was not long right after that, after Rock and Roll High School, because I think that was in 79 or 80. And then I think 79. And then Stripes was what, 81? I want to say
was 81.
81. Okay.
Yeah, had PJ Souls and Sean Young.
Sean Young, that's PJ it. God,
ain't we so stupid? PJ Souls played Stella, and Sean Young played Louise.
Yeah. And Somebody put a link to something.
Who? What? Oh, that was me. I put that
Oh,
City of Lost Children up there.
oh.
Thank you,
Okay.
Carl. Yes, Sean Young.
Thank you.
Where did Dan go? I switched screens to go look at IMDb for 1 minute, and he's gone to the bathroom again.
You let him off his leash.
Stephanie said she might come in tonight, but she also said she had other stuff to do, so she couldn't stay on.
Well, and my watch kept dinging, and I was kind of looking at what she was saying, but I really got to kind of scroll a lot, and then some on my watch, and lose it.
When she told everybody she was editing books, everybody that's ever written a book, everybody that's ever written a book dropped an editing job in Stephanie's lap, so she's busier in a one-arm paper hanger in a forest fire.
Of course. Yeah. Well, feast or famine. That's.
Whew.
And that's like me with the commissions. I did a commission for Sarah, which I'll be posting that soon on Facebook and on the Artwork of Bill Sarton Facebook page, Sarton Art 76. Like and follow. But anyway, her childhood dog Higgins, which was a Dalmatian mix. And I did that. That was the final.
Wait a minute. She named her Dalmatian after the caretaker on Magnum PI?
This is pre-Magnum PI. I think she got him in 67 or 68. But it was Higgins and she can chime in and say I forgot where she got the name now. It's another.
Wasn't Higgins the doctor in Pygmalion?
I forget. Sarah, where did you get the name Higgins from?
Yes.
The dog?
Henry Higgins.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a well of trivial knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The dog on Petticoat Junction was Higgins?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I did not know
Really? Michelle.
The little itty bitty dog.
Baby girl. It's mine and Lindsay's daughter.
Hmm.
Okay. Now I've got to behave. Yeah, right.
Sit up straight, Dan.
If I get any straighter, well, let's
Hey,
not.
You think you got to behave? My mom has been following me on Stupid O'Clock.
Oh boy.
Dear. Well, I just found out my mom's been watching YouTube a lot, and I don't know. I really don't know if she's been watching us.
My mom's in heaven, so I don't think I got to worry unless they have really good Wi-Fi up there.
Oh,
which I'm sure they do.
She's been watching you.
It's heaven. Everything's in the cloud.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Now, Dan, you should.
It's all saved.
You should have been Johnny on the spot when John did that to do the boom boom with the kid falling over.
Hey, that one's actually my favorite, by the way.
John's got the remote.
Mine
here.
too.
I'm just in the.
Joe's got too much crap
in
on
the comments.
No, I'll just say that. That's right out there.
Does he label them?
Sorta. Let's see here.
Aren't you glad we don't record the green room?
What the heck we were just talking about? I told a funny, and Dan was supposed to do this.
Unfortunately, I didn't get that memo.
Yes.
And Donna, what makes you think we don't record in the green room?
just because you don't record in the green room doesn't mean that we don't record in the green room.
Yeah. And speak a little louder.
And the NSA records everything, so I'm sure they've got a copy.
Of course.
And to tell the truth, to answer Donna, sometimes I am glad we don't record, and sometimes I wish we had.
When Dan fell asleep or when the cat farted on Joe. I mean, those are two that we did.
What do you mean when Dan fell asleep?
The first time. Yes.
Oh.
And then it, for some odd reason, got erased. We're not sure why.
Well, was that on Stupid O'Clock or Last Man Standing? Because I know it was me, Dan,
Yes.
Chris, and Anna.
Back in those days, we kind of did both. We didn't.
Oh, both at the same.
We
Okay,
didn't really
that's right.
stop Stupid O'Clock to do Last Man Standing. We just went 3, 4, 5, 10 hours, whatever.
Yeah, 10 hours when I fall asleep.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus, Corona, whatever, and Corona Cerveza, and
Ricky Gervais. What?
Yeah, that
guy. Rob, no. The green room is a Friday night event for
on Uncle Carl's page.
Yes, and it is not recorded because there's no use giving the NSA any more evidence.
One of the rules for the green room is that if you report, you're not allowed to report anything to Facebook. So if you report the green room to Facebook, you're out. Okay. And so
if you get offended, you just report to admins anyway. They got.
If you get offended, you're out.
You complain to Facebook.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You
can't be offended by anything.
You can't be offended by anything in the room. And if you do report us to Facebook, you just broke one of the rules because you're not allowed to report anything to Facebook if you go to the green room.
God, remember the days when nobody was offended?
Yeah, 1963. It was a long time ago.
No, I think it was about the time that All in the Family lost Edith Bunker and switched over to Archie Bunker's place, and everything started getting more political.
Actually, I have to correct you on that one because when she died, she actually died on Archie Bunker's place. She was in.
I thought that was a switchover.
No. She was actually in part of the first season because she was talking to Martin Balsam or whatever his name is. Right. It was the fact that he really liked Edith, and then when he found out Stephanie was a Jew, saw the little Jewish star David, and then that's when he agreed to be Archie's partner. But yeah, she actually died on Archie Bunker's place. I could probably find exactly which episode it was, but I don't have. I got other things set up here right now.
Okay. Who's got Walter on their friends list?
I do.
Invite Walter to Uncle Carl's secret humor group.
Let me see how.
Because the rest of us reprobates are already there.
If I can remember to punch the button.
Push the button, Max.
The one problem with Uncle Carl's group is you got to get in there early because I think it's 10 people is the max.
Yeah, but not everybody stays all the time because I'm never in there early.
We've had more than 10, I think. It's a Facebook chat. It's not a StreamYard.
Yeah, it's not StreamYard.
So you might be able to have more than 10.
Hey, Carl, can we have more than 10? Do you know? It's his damn chat room. Let's ask him.
Really, he's here.
Well, at least it seemed like we did at one time.
I thought we had The entire Brady Bunch plus 3 or 4.
Okay, Walt, I just sent you an invite to the Secret Humor Group.
Okay. Carl says they've had as many as 12. Yep. We do tend to talk over each other from time to time. Mostly in those situations, I just gently snore in the background.
Then you gotta get Anna or Donna to wake you up.
Sometimes that doesn't work.
And then when that doesn't work, you know what we do? We do this.
And that didn't work either.
You had the speaker covered, Bill.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, they're gonna hear a darn thing.
It doesn't matter. Y'all set off
There you go.
Y'all set off nuclear weapons one time when I was asleep.
It's a
and I
green
didn't
room
wake up.
event by invitation only.
No. If you are a member of Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group, you have the choice to click the button or not.
Yes. But by clicking the button, you agree to follow the rules, especially rule number 1. You cannot report anything on Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group green room to Facebook.
Rule number 2, screenshots are allowed.
No, rule number 2, don't talk about rule number 1.
Well, see, the reason why they don't record that, like how we do this show, is that you got Donna in there,
Carl.
and they make her write all the hashtags.
Everybody hush for a second. Hang on a second.
What you got there?
Hi, Joe.
Hello, Joe. So, you got to check up on us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what can we do to get Joe banned?
Let's see. 90 days get us to HallowCon? No, wait.
Hey, Joe, we're getting...
not quite. That's okay.
Hey, Joe, we're getting the band back together.
Where's it? Where's it? 10 points for Bill. Yes.
Now he's sweating.
Yeah.
He'll be popping in any minute now. And I'm highly caffeinated, Joe Dog, just to warn you.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. He pops in all of a sudden. It goes, don't get me mad.
Yes, the green room event is just a party room. But the word just does not do it justice.
It's like it's like Walt, it's like going on a Zoom call, but with a bunch of ne'er-do-wells. I don't know what you call us.
Reprobates.
Idiots. Crazy people.
Curmudgeons.
Crazy, I would accept. Idiots, nah.
No.
I'm not gonna go for that
to
one.
be honest, there's too much brain power in Uncle Carl's green room for it to be idiots.
Yeah.
Now, in the first hour.
But that I was going to say that usually gets burned off pretty quick.
Yeah, we've drank enough to be idiots.
I'm one of the very few who don't drink there. Well, I drink, but it's like drinks like this.
Mm-hmm.
I did one time. I did do the rum chata, but it was just a little shot size, so put it in my coffee.
That one I think Uncle Carl recorded.
He might have. Use against me later.
It'll come out in the Senate hearing. Okay. I told y'all I was growing peppers, right? I've got another batch that's about ready. I was going to pick them today, but I told you my back was hurting. I went out back and I was moving potted plants. I mowed the other day with the big mower, but I forgot to move the plants, trim with the small mower, and then move the plants back into position. So I went to do that today. I went out there to pick up that first planter, a 5-gallon bucket, about 4 gallons.
Oh,
4
Lord.
gallons of soil. Man, my back hurt. So needless to say, I didn't get around to picking peppers.
I thought you was going to say the bottom came out.
Not quite.
Actually, I do need to repot a few of those because they've actually got roots. You know, the drain holes in the bottom of the pots. They got roots coming out going into the ground from the pots.
Now, do
Makes
you
them
know what
hard to
I
move.
do? I got one of the estate sales Laura was working at. I got one of these old wash tubs with the handles on them,
Yeah.
and it was beat all to hell. Which the more it was beat up, the better it looked. You know, very rustic, vintage.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, I was planting marigolds in there, but there was a bunch of broken clay pots, and Laura came up with the idea of taking the broken clay pots and putting them in the bottom instead of like rock or gravel or whatever, that it would
To help
drain
the
through
drainage.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still drilled holes in the bottom of the wash tub and that. No, I didn't turn it over and make a wash tub base out of it, but one day maybe.
I
But
wanted to get a turret from a T-72 tank from Ukraine shipped over to the house just so I could turn it upside down, plant flowers in it. But they want too much for shipping. So. They got plenty of them. It's just getting the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it shipped.
Well, hello, Jay.
But I saw one. You know how the turrets keep blowing off the top of the tanks over there because they say it's a defect, but it's not really a defect. It's just the way any tank will do that if the ammunition blows. It just so happens that on the Russian design, all the ammunition is directly below the turret. So if the ammunition catches fire, turret goes straight up.
Mm-hmm.
There's this picture. One of them was sitting next to an apartment building. The turret blew off, went up, and came down through 3 floors of the apartment building, and was sitting in somebody's apartment with a bunch of rubble.
Well,
yeah, that's
somebody had a bad day. Several somebody's had a bad day.
It's only a 3-man crew. So,
well, I was mostly thinking of the innocent people in the apartment building.
I believe they had already been evacuated, actually, if they're smart.
Mm.
And then there's it's ridiculous what Russia is doing over there. It's like they're getting hit with so many drones and rockets and everything from the Ukrainians. They've actually had to start hiding their high value assets from the Ukrainians. And
you mean like bread, cheese?
They started hiding all their ammunition in that Europe's largest nuclear plant. And there's a picture came out today, and they said, no, we're not hiding our stuff in the nuclear plant. Somebody posted a picture from inside the nuclear plant's turbine building. Of all these Russian trucks parked inside the turbine building. This is supposed to be a controlled area on a nuclear plant. You're not supposed to just drive trucks through there and stuff like that. They got trucks bumper to bumper in there with ammunition stacked along the walls. And somebody posted that picture today, and the Russians were like, that's a fake.
It's probably one of their own. It's probably one of their guards. Hey, Dimitri, go stand over here and I'll take your picture and post it on Facebook.
But oopsie.
Yeah, really. Reality rears its ugly head.
And you know,
now,
I would love. Oh, I saw something today. There's this big hacker convention going on, DEF CON, something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but it's kind of funny. They have hacked an abandoned satellite in space. an abandoned. It's a communication satellite that basically it got replaced. So they basically turned this one off. Okay, it's still in orbit. It's not going anywhere or anything like that. So they hacked it and turned it back on. And they've been using it to transmit movies to all their buddies. And they're showing everybody at this convention, yeah, we own the satellite now. And it's
Michelle, was that your brother?
we're let's see. The alien party room, they gave you a little alien paratrooper when you walked in, and their punch was green. Oh.
I think I ran into that at a LibertyCon as well.
Okay. First rules of conventions.
Don't
Don't drink the punch. Now, actually, some people make a very good punch, but some people
yes,
don't.
they do.
One of my worst con memories is drinking punch.
Don't drink everybody's punch.
That's actually what almost killed me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Some of those are mutually exclusive ingredients, and there are, shall we say, unfortunate side effects.
Yeah, but anybody can go around and add their own ingredient to it secretly, and therefore making it a little bit more.
Not in the middle of a room party. No, you can't do anything secretly in the middle of a room party. You might be able to add something to your own drink.
But the best place to hide is in a crowd. Everybody knows that.
Okay. Chattacon used to be at the Choo Choo, the Chattanooga Choo Choo downtown. Okay. There's a very infamous story from one of the conventions there. They have cameras all over the place for various reasons. But you could access some of the cameras from your hotel room through the television. And like if your kids were out at the swimming pool, they had a camera on the swimming pool, so you could see what was going on at the swimming pool. Right? No horseplay kind of thing. So one night, this couple goes out, and this swimming pool at the convention was a big U-shaped, or is a circular pool, but right out in the middle was a little island, and on this island was this little tiki hut with a hot tub in it. So these two people walk across the bridge, get out in the hot tub, and they got overly amorous in the hot tub.
I figured that was where this was going.
And they didn't realize that basically word of mouth through the convention spread, and everybody turned their TV to the channel and was watching them get overly amorous in the hot tub. It became a convention event, including like big screen TVs in the movie room and stuff like this.
I never get invited to those orgies.
You never get invited to those sort of parties, do you? I got invited to one at a Dragon Con once, but
well, Dragon Con, I mean, different rules.
Different, yeah, big difference. I got to go to a room party. I got invited to a room party with Timothy Leary, Dr. Timothy Leary.
Whoa!
Talk
about spiking your punch.
It wasn't so much spiking as, here, take one of these.
Was it in a padded cell with Cheech and Chong?
It should have been.
Yep. Eventually, it might have turned into something like that.
That is actually one of my favorite con stories, is going to the Timothy Leary.
You should tell that one more often.
I've got so many of them, and they ain't funny.
Well, statute of limitations is probably expired.
I was in a green room at Dragon Con, and they had me, and I was pulling security. So they had me take a bottle of liquor. That's some sort of special kind of whiskey. I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to take it up to the green room where all the guests were hanging. It's the guest party room, a real green room.
Yeah.
And so I go up there and I hand it. And Joe Campbell, you know Joe Campbell, don't you, Dan?
Vaguely. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Not vaguely. Yeah, I know Joe.
So I took it up there, handed it to Joe, and he says, "Oh, thank goodness," because Mr. Adams was complaining about it. I said, "Mr. Adams?" He said, "Yeah, Douglas Adams." And I'm like, and so he went, and he was so like, "Oh, thank you for bringing that up here," and just. And so we sat down, and I said, "Well, what exactly is it?" I didn't recognize the brand, and I didn't know anything about whiskeys back then. But and I was like, "Well, what is it?" And so Joe got me a glass. I sat down there. I was talking with Douglas Adams and just all that sort of stuff. And he told me all about 42,
Yes.
but not before he swore me to secrecy. So that's one of those few. Even though I know I've never told anyone. So guess what?
Hey, we got a Kiri.
Hey,
Hi, Carrie.
Hey!
who did I miss?
Hello.
I'm going to do this here. Rob Brown, do they still have Romulan ale? I don't know. But we were talking about this the other day. Nobody has ever made, as far as I know, a decent pan-galactic gargle blaster.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And I keep asking. And I sent a message to Joe Campbell one time because he tends bars at all the conventions and stuff like that. I was like, surely Joe knows how to make a pan-galactic gargle blaster. And he was like, no, but I'll look it up. And he never got back to me. So, yeah, Joe, I'm still waiting. If you're watching the show, hey, you never know.
Hey, some of the ingredients are difficult to obtain on this planet.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't. Well, the gold brick would be a little bit. I mean, you have to go to Fort Knox or something.
Well, the Cetrogenia and swamp water, yeah, that would be a little bit difficult.
Was he there? Which one are you talking about? Douglas Adams or
Timothy
yes, he was there.
Leary.
And then Dr. Timothy Leary was there. This was actually the year before he died, if I remember correctly. So
Did he offer you the key?
Pretty much, he was giving
Yeah.
everybody. That's why you got invited to Timothy Leary's party.
No, not really.
Not sorry. Okay.
Enlightenment is not for everybody, but it's
and
fun.
he had the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And let's see who else we got.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't exactly pills.
It was not exactly. It was not exactly a pill. It was
probably blotter, microdot. Oh yeah, I remember microdot.
And they were just. I mean, it looked like a caraway seed or something. It was just. And he cut it off a little pad.
Big sheet of paper. Yeah. Oh Lord, my wild and misspent youth. I'm sorry, Michelle, but I was much wilder than you've ever been.
Some of the people that I've met at sci-fi conventions, and I hate to brag, but I mean,
hey, go ahead. Joe isn't here.
Claudia Christian.
Oh.
I won't go into that one here tonight, but she was fun. If you've ever had
so I've heard.
If you've ever had to pull security for a Guar concert.
Okay.
You see how red I am right now?
Mm-hmm.
I was redder than this after the Guar concert.
Well, you should use sunscreen next time.
The Guar concert uses fake blood. And I'm not talking just a little. I'm talking gallons upon gallons that we literally have to coat. There's like I think they have to get bonded to replace the carpet in the hotels they perform.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Red dye is very difficult to get out of carpet.
And the Hilton they just put in new carpet.
Ooh.
Yes. So they did not. We almost did that one year. We almost didn't get water. So it's kind of funny what we did. We put down plastic and then put carpet on top of it. Used carpet.
Mm. abused carpet.
Well, it was the carpet that they had in there before they had replaced it with the new carpet. So we put plastic down on the new carpet and then put the old carpet in on top of it.
Mm.
So it didn't work as well as we thought it would.
Well, not every brilliant idea pans out. But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
And then there's some of the interesting groups that we've had at like Dragon Con and places like that, like Impotent Sea Snakes. You ever heard of them?
No, but
You're a lucky man.
one of the groups that has been at Dragon Con, and I'm slurring my speech because I'm wearing my dentures and I'm trying to learn how to talk with plastic teeth, okay? I'm not drunk enough yet to be naturally slurring, but I'm working on it. One of the groups that has been at Dragon Con that I would really have loved to hung out with was Abney Park.
Of course, Crux Shadows used to be a regular.
I've heard of them.
Apollo Smile.
Have
You ever heard of her?
No.
The living anime character.
Probably under that name, but not under the other one.
Well, her name was Apollo Smile. That was how she went. Then Julie Strain, who was the model for the Heavy Metal Fact 2 character. And
the one that was riding the pterodactyl, or
no,
whatever
the one
it was?
after that. The one that
Oh, okay.
Blasters and swords. Yeah.
Okay.
And spiky armor. Gorgeous pinup model type one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. Of course, some of the actors and writers you meet at going to sci-fi conventions are pretty cool. Met, of course, who were we talking about the other day? Harlan Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent writer. Kind of interesting to meet at a sci-fi convention. Okay, I don't know if it counts as a scream queen, because she was more of a kill you and you would scream queen. But she might have been a scream queen. I'm not sure. She did a lot of stuff. Let's see. One of my favorite ones, of course, L. Sprague de Camp and his lovely wife Catherine was just. That was one of my favorite convention guests to have. You just sit around and talk to. And then Kelly Freeze.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Freeze was the artist that invented Alfred E. Newman for Mad Magazine.
Among other things.
He came to a Chattacon one year, went to the Dead Dog Party, which is the party they have after the convention for all the staff that helped make it possible. And he sat around at the party with a pad of paper from down at the hotel front desk and an ink pen, just a little magic marker type thing, drawing caricatures of everyone at the Dead Dog Party.
Wonder what those are worth today.
I've actually got some pictures of some people posing with their pictures, and I was going to get my picture done by him, but after about 4 hours of him drawing characters, his hands started cramping, and I was like, no, I'm not going to ask him to do my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sometimes you're forced to be polite.
Yes. Wilson Bob Tucker.
Oh.
Who actually paid me the greatest compliment a human being has ever paid me in my entire life. And I'll just leave it at that. So, he was just that nice a guy.
He's the person that the word Tuckerized came from.
Yes. And strangely enough, he was 90 years old and all the women loved him.
Some of us know how that feels.
Yes. And he liked Canadian whiskey.
Some of
What
us
was
know
he
how
most
that
known
feels
for?
too.
Yes. You notice a lot of my convention stories have to do with whiskey or other stuff. Let's see. Who's Dan? Who's some of your favorites?
Um, well, I've met Larry Niven and Jerry Purnell, um, Eric Flint, uh, um,
Oh, there's another one. David Drake, Eric Flint,
mhm,
um,
Ann McCaffrey's son.
Anne McCaffrey.
Well,
Um,
no, I never met Ann. I met her son.
oh,
Um,
uh, I've met her somewhere down the line. And then Olivia. Oh no, Octavia Butler. Excuse me.
oh yeah,
She, she was not what I expected, and I was pleasantly surprised with meeting her. So,
she had a reputation of being a very nice lady.
um, I can't see the book from here. David Weber.
David Weber, yes,
David Weber
indeed,
and his lovely wife, and
yes.
they're nice to talk to.
Um, I learned lots of stuff from listening to David and Eric talking to one another on a panel. John Ringo, who is a marvelous person, although he has a reputation of not being so, which is entirely false. Um, oh Lord, uh, well,
Oh
you got
no, John Ringo.
exactly. He wrote something where he decided he was not going to play by the rules,
Or
and
pull punches in the name
or pull
of
punches,
political correctness. Yes.
and it became popular, and that became his reputation, and that is undeserved because he's really a sweetheart. He is really just he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. He
Let me tell you.
does tell
Oh,
very, very interesting stories.
let me tell you something about John Ringo that is really cool. I live in the same town John Ringo does.
Uh-huh.
I was reading much of his books, and I went to get the rest of the. I started a series of his books, and I went to get the
Uh-huh.
rest of the series over at Barnes and Noble. So I go in there and I find the sci-fi section, going through, find his books. I'm looking at them. They're all autographed.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
He had gone into Barnes and Noble and autographed all of his books at Barnes and Noble.
Hmm.
So you were buying at just a regular price. You were buying an autographed book.
Yep. That sounds
Could you
exactly
imagine
like him.
an employee who did not know him?
Well, he went in and told the manager who he was, and the manager at Barnes and Noble's a big sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As, let's put it this way: there's a very good chance you will see him at one of our conventions in the area. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um, he's a regular at Liberty Con. So is his lovely wife. And my wife Lindsay was is right after they got married. Lindsay was the first one to introduce Miriam as Mrs. John Ringo. She had never heard that before. Miriam had never heard anybody address her as Mrs. John Ringo, and she goes, "I love that. I love that. I'd never heard that before. That's wonderful." Yes, Miriam is just an astounding lady. One of the nicest folks you ever meet. Do not give her pixie sticks, or John will kill you if Miriam doesn't first. Uh, she she has a very, very peculiar metabolism, and too much sugar will drive her out of her tree.
Mm.
She also cannot stand hot weather. She needs
Hmm.
air conditioning to function.
Sounds familiar.
Hmm. But it's extreme. It's like me in reverse. I can't stand air conditioning, but that's life. Everybody's different in a myriad different ways.
When I was in the military, I did not like air conditioning because it would give me headaches. You just
Yeah,
walk in.
you were acclimated to the hot weather.
Exactly. And, you drive around in the military vehicles, and the military vehicles that I had at the time didn't have air conditioning. You got used to it. Then I went out and bought pickup trucks, and none of my pickup trucks had air conditioning. And even if later on, when I bought a pickup truck, it did have air conditioning, I still ran around with the windows rolled down. Just that's how you're in Georgia and Tennessee. That's how you drive a pickup truck, damn it.
Yeah, the 460 AC, four windows down, 60 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I have since that time. I went to Iraq, and there was literally a day we had a thermometer, one of the big dial ones, about this big, and it would bottom out. It went up to 150 degrees, and then the little peg where the needle would bottom out was about 155. And we've literally got pictures of this thermometer pegged out.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, "Oh, no, that's because it was in the sunshine. It's just the desert. Everything's in the damn sunshine." And
Really?
Yeah.
Show me a tree in Iraq, okay?
well, actually, there are quite a few, but just they usually get used for firewood. One of the scariest moments I had in Iraq. So I was up on top of a vehicle. We had to borrow one of our vehicles was in maintenance. The air conditioner went down, and so we had borrowed. I kid you not. So we had borrowed another platoon's vehicle. So I'm up there on the gun, and we're driving along, and this something blew up. We don't know what it is, but whoever's commanding the convoy stopped and gets on the radio. There's been an explosion. Is everybody okay? So you do your little checks to make sure everybody's not wounded. Right. So I'm checking everybody, and I'm in the gun turret, so everybody's worried about me. And I'm like, "Is everybody down there okay?" Yes. He says, "Are you okay?" And I just happen to be in the vehicle with the medic. So I'm giving it the one over just to please, so the medic won't panic and try and crawl up in the gun turret with me to check me out. So I'm looking around, and I look down on the side of on the roof outside the gun turret. I look down. There's this little red streak running off the side of the vehicle, dark red. I'm like, "Am I hit?" I'm like, I look, and I can't figure out. Oh shit! There's something red streaking off the side of the vehicle, and the medic's panicking now, and he's trying to climb up in there. He said, "Look around. Wait a minute." So he told me. The people that had been in the vehicle before us were driving through town and were throwing candy to the kids on the side of the street like it's Mardi Gras or something. And there was this little red cinnamon candy in a little red cellophane wrap that had gotten up underneath the gun turret shield, the gun position shield, had gotten stuck in there. And it was so hot on top of the steel, on top of this vehicle where the sun was beating down, the candy had melted. And that's what that little red streak was running off the side of the vehicle. It was blood red. And I pull it out, and it's just a molten candy wrapper. I'm like, never mind.
I'm okay, but the candy's screwed.
Yeah, we lost a piece of candy. And we went back, and I told the people that when we turned the vehicle back over to the platoon that owned it, I told them, "You guys ever throw candy at anybody again, I'm going to shoot you."
The nice thing about going to LibertyCon is you meet so many writers and artists, and everybody else that goes to conventions, that you can't remember everybody's name if you're pressed to remember everybody's name.
I have 2 friends lists for conventions: the sober friends list and the not sober friends list.
I know which one I'm on.
Actually, I think you're on both of them now. But but there's these people come up to me, "Hey, how you doing?" And they run off, and I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" I guess I'm not drunk enough to remember that person.
Go through the Rolodex. Oh yeah, photographs. That would help. That would help. Yeah.
You know. Oh, oh,
Oh.
first time I went to Iraq, I was still big into EverQuest, which was an online role playing game. Then I had to go to Iraq, and I couldn't play EverQuest while I was in Iraq, okay, because there just wasn't enough internet connection to play it. But it turns out if you go in there late at night, like 2 in the morning, you could actually get enough internet bandwidth to almost play EverQuest. And it wasn't so much that I wanted to play it as I had a bunch of friends that played it, so I could chat with them in the chat feature in the game. So I went in there one night. I got online. It turns out it's running pretty good.
Ooh, wow.
So I get in there and play, and I found this one guy, and I told him, I start running a cleric, and he starts running a fighter. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, you do the fighting. We'll group up. You do the fighting, I'll do the clericing. But I gotta warn you, I don't have very good bandwidth. So, if anything happens, bug out. Said, okay. So we're doing our thing. He's going out, drawing critters in, killing them. I'm keeping him healed and all sorts of stuff like that. We get a little XP, nothing major. But finally, after an hour, I said, okay. He's like, okay, I gotta go. I got a patrol in about 2 hours. Where are you physically? And he's like, I'm at Camp Buka in Iraq. I says, I'm at Bernstein. We're only about 50 miles apart. So no wonder we had such a good internet connection.
Yeah, really. Geographically, you were in the same spot. While you were telling that story, I did remember Todd McCaffrey. It takes me a while, but the gray cells do eventually link up momentarily.
You're doing better than I am. Let's see. When the TV show Babylon 5 ended, Dragon Con had the entire cast there.
Oh yeah. While they were all of them were still with us,
and all of them still with us. And I got to go down there and meet the entire Babylon 5 cast, which was pretty cool. So unfortunately, we've lost about half of them. So
well, more than half, I would say, but I'm no expert. I would love to have met Mia. I mean, be still my beating heart, and Claudia as well. Although I'm well aware. And
Malcolm McDowell.
Ooh, have not ever had the pleasure.
I met him at Dragon Con. This was right after he did the Star Trek thing with William Shatner. But it's kind of funny. He was handing out. I got him to sign a photograph for me, and I said, "Would you write on it, Viddy well, my droogs?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a sci-fi show. It's a sci-fi. It's your first sci-fi story. Come on."
Really?
And he was like, he thought I was going to do something Star Trek. Nope. I wanted Clockwork Orange.
Yep. Oh Lord.
I think about, of course, now David Drake is a Vietnam veteran.
Yes.
And John Ringo is an Army veteran.
A lot of our writer friends are.
And it's kind of cool talking military stuff with them. Just to think.
I can't do that because I don't have any reference. I've never served, so I just have to sit there and listen, which is not a struggle at all because there's some very interesting stories. But I was just born pretty much at the wrong time to have been called to military service. Too old for Vietnam, too young for Vietnam, and too old for everything else since. Child of the 50s, what can I tell you? Late 50s at that.
It's kind of weird that I remember sitting It's such a iconic image. If I tell people about it, I can remember sitting in front of the TV, eating TV dinners, watching Walter Cronkite talk about what was going on in Vietnam.
Yep.
Me too.
Minus the TV dinners, because
Yeah.
mom cooked. TV dinners was not something that we indulged in.
Um, my two favorite things were the mashed potatoes and the spiced apple slices. I didn't care what else was in the menu. The peas and carrots were kind of interesting.
Interesting is a word that I would frequently apply to frozen meals.
Hey, frozen peas are the best peas. The stuff in the can's mushy. You know,
You do remember I'm married to a British lady where mushy peas is considered a food group.
bangers and mash. Now I'm hungry. Damn.
That ain't bad.
No.
Let me tell you. That's really good sausage and mashed potatoes. Really good sausage.
I miss all the German Imbiss foods. You know, there's a little place on the North Shore of Chattanooga that it's supposed to be a German beer house that has German foods.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's Americanized German foods. I like German food so much, I actually make my own sauerkraut just so it tastes like the stuff I had in Germany.
You bugger you.
It's like the episode of MASH that I watched tonight where they had a North Korean, but he was a very good doctor and he spoke good English. And when Radar found out that he was Chinese, he was Chinese actually. Radar said, well, when the cat was out of the bag, and he said, Colonel Potter said, this could cost me my pension. I don't care how good of a doctor he is, we got to send him off to prison camp. And I think Hawkeye made a comment saying that, well, if you're ever in the United States sometime, you got to come and visit us and that. And he says, and if you're ever and have a beer or something like that. And his response was, yes. And if you're ever traveling to the Orient, you need to look me up and we can have some rice wine. And Radar says, oh, I bet you know all the great places for Chinese food. And he says, yes, but unfortunately they're in Chicago.
It turns out that way sometimes. The iconic stuff is never where you expect it to be. You don't go to Italy for spaghetti or pizza.
That was one thing they tell you about. It was somebody in Germany said, if you ever order pizza, don't order pepperoni pizza. Because they will send you a pizza with cheese and pepperonis, which are the little black peppers that they put in the pepper grinder to put. Because pepperoni means something completely different in Germany. No, it didn't. They knew what the hell a pepperoni on a pizza was. I don't know who started that damn myth.
What's the deal about Domino's?
Kick out of the back of the airplane without a parachute.
Yeah, really.
What's the deal about Domino's going out of business in Italy? I heard something, and I'm sure it had to be more than just this, but somebody was saying something to the effect of Italians don't like something on their pizzas, or they don't believe in it, or what. And I didn't hear all.
They don't want Americans on their pizza.
Yeah, no, it was something like pepperoni or cheese or whatever it was. I don't remember. Oh no, pineapple. They didn't. Italians think that true pizza does not have pineapple on it, and
Hawaiians
apparently
may
Domino's.
argue.
Yeah, apparently Domino's can put pineapple on pizzas, I guess, upon request, or maybe they might have a pineapple pizza too. Who knows? But I supposedly though, you cannot go to a Domino's in Italy anymore. They're leaving the country, but I'm sure it's for more than just the pineapple on their pizzas.
And for those of you who are wondering about Julie Strain earlier, that's Julie Strain.
She's straining to get into that bathing suit, I see.
If that's what they call,
I'm not sure getting in is the
missed.
problem.
Yeah. Or staying in.
Containment may be the problem. Healthy lady.
No, wait a minute. Okay. It's almost delivered. Okay.
Yeah, but you're not in Italy, Rich.
I like pineapple on pizza, but we used to have this one. We used to have this one pizza we made called a Hawaiian pizza.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Canadian bacon, pineapple, green peppers, and onions.
Yeah.
And of course, cheese is off. But it's pretty good.
Usually the argument is always thin crust versus thick crust.
Really? I like both. There's certain pizzas I like with thin crust. There's certain pizzas I like with thick crust. If the pizza has a lot of toppings, I like thick crust. If the pizza is very, low topping, I like usually thin crust pepperoni. Great. What's that one? The margarita pizzas. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that one. It's a margarita pizza with anchovies is really good with thin crust. I like anchovies, but
I've never been offered a pizza with anchovies.
Really, there's two ways to get it. They usually put fillets, one on each slice.
Mm-hmm.
I like it crumbled across the entire pizza. Just a little bit of, not a whole damn anchovy fillet, but just a little bit here and there. The one problem with anchovies, very salty.
That I have heard.
I've had a seafood pizza before that had shrimp on it. Shrimp and crab meat. And it's pretty darn good too. When they run it through the pizza oven, it browns the top of the shrimp and the crab meat, so it's actually kind of pretty darn tasty.
Sounds okay.
We made a barbecue pizza once. We went down to the local barbecue restaurant, got some barbecue sauce and some pulled pork, and we mixed it. We put it on pizza with onions and two different types of cheese, cheddar and mozzarella.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty darn good too. And some jalapenos.
Yes. We have covered a plethora of topics already tonight.
Oh yeah.
I think we just made everybody hungry, and
Yep.
we better switch real quick, or we may lose our viewers.
All four of us are going to get discounts at the local places that deliver.
I tell you, anytime you tune into a stream, there's a high chance you're going to get hungry. It's the same way. Just about any Twitch stream I go to, if food is even mentioned once and I haven't eaten in a while, I just get hungry all of a sudden.
I'm trying to cut back on eating, so I actually went out and bought yogurt today. And now that I'm talking about eating pizza, I'm starting to get really, really hungry.
Well,
I found out
to the beer fridge. I'll be right back.
You're one of the beer.
He's got to go get an anchovy pizza. I found out some distressing news today after my outpatient surgery.
You're not allowed to have pizza.
No, but you're close. Because they had a number 12 balloon when they needed a number 15. So this is the reason why I got to go back next month to have it done when they had to order number 15 to expand. For those of you who don't know, they were expanding my esophagus. I'm having swallowing problems, and there's a name for that surgery, but they put the scope down there to check things out first. And I had this originally done back when I was in the hospital earlier in the spring because I had bleeding ulcers and they were dealing with several issues, and I had this done then. And he told me, he said, now you're probably going to have this done again. He expanded it so many centimeters and he was going to need to expand it more. So it started giving me problems the last couple of weeks again. And I thought, I'm going to nip this in the bud. Made an appointment, saw him couple weeks ago, and then he made the appointment for the surgery today. So he had to do exactly the same thing he did the last time because of not having the one that will expand it more. But in the process of it, you know how much I like my deep fried corn nuggets that I get at the auction. And actually I have some in the freezer that I bought at Gordon's. And I occasionally have them in the air fryer here, and just corn on the cob and all that in general. I cannot have any corn until after I have this next procedure, because despite what corn usually does and goes right through you, I guess it was causing problems with the esophagus again. Oddly enough, some of it was catching in there. And apparently they found that with the scope. So they cleared the blockage, what blockage there was, and was the main issue of the blockage. So thankfully everything's in the freezer that it will, when the doctor clears me to eat corn again. But usually you would think that would be the last thing that would cause any type of blockage. But and they had said things before about, like, with different types of peanuts and other, almonds and all that stuff.
Because the husk or the skins or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, and just too that it would a little bit harder for me to digest if they were crushed peanuts, like say something that's on a drumstick, ice cream drumstick. That's one thing. I still have to be a little careful with it, and that's the rest of my life. But yeah, I would have never thought with corn because
sounds like it's anything with a skin to it, like corn, peanuts, and all that sort of stuff. That's like, and they don't want it getting hung up in your throat or whatever.
Just the kernels, something with the kernels on it.
No shrimp shells.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, if they left the bones out, it wouldn't be crunchy now, would it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now that Dan's back, I'm going to make my run for the border here real quick. So,
yeah, I originally just went to get a beer, and then I go, emergency, emergency, emergency. Yeah, you can't go drinking beer all day and keep it to yourself.
Well, it's once again, you don't realize it until you stand up, and then the
gravity
body
works.
Yeah, the bladder says, "Excuse me, you got to go now. You got to take a break." Ooh. What he said about running for the border put me in the mind of a story I heard this morning. I was listening to WBBM radio out of Chicago, and anyway, apparently there was an incident at a local Taco Bell up there where a woman had ordered over $240 worth of tacos, and she was in the drive up, and the people behind her were infuriated because they were waiting 45 minutes to an hour in the drive up while the woman got her $240 worth of tacos. Now, why they didn't do like they do at McDonald's and say, pull up there and we'll bring it out to you, or, have her pay, of course, first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure somebody, one of the employees at that Taco Bell, probably will be retrained on that issue.
Or replaced.
Yeah, it was a simple fix, and they just didn't do it.
Well, it would have been, but it never got fixed.
And if the woman said, no, I'm waiting right here until you get them ready or whatever, who knows, maybe she ordered them ahead of time and they were supposed to be ready by the time she came and they weren't. And so she wasn't going to move her vehicle until she did. I don't know any of the particulars other than the amount that she ordered, but that's an awful lot of amount. Yeah, I know tacos aren't that expensive.
One would think that someone with that size order would have actually gone inside rather than go through the drive-thru.
Well, we used to go to Royal Donut in Danville, and I would order donuts to take in for everybody on the Lowe's Pros people to have for our break time. And it would be about 3 or 4 dozen donuts, but I would always call it in ahead of time to where they could make it all up as they're going along with everybody else's orders, and tell them to put Lowe's Home Improvement on there, and then my name, my first name, and then I'll come in and 9 times out of 10 they would have it ready, but knowing that I had to be at work at a certain time. But
we've got a couple of people at work that will pull into the brand new Dunkin' Donuts on my way to work, and they'll get a dozen or 2 and sometimes 4. But I'm sure they called in before they leave the house. So the place has got 20 to 30 minutes prep time before somebody actually pulls up to pay for the order.
Well, we have used to have several Royal Donuts in Danville, which is a locally owned chain just for Danville. I think we had let's see, 1, 2, 3, either 3 or 4 at one time. Now they're down to just 1. Then they went out of business for a while because my own personal opinion, they tried to change from a donut shop and make it into like a Starbucks coffee shop that sold donuts, and they jacked prices up on everything and kind of redesigned the inside of the place. And Donna and Carl will tell you about it, but now they're open back up again. There was a big thing opening up first week of August, but now they have another problem. They're not making enough donuts to cover what people want, so they're selling out within a couple hours and having to tell people, sorry, come back tomorrow. And we were driving by there today after our procedure, and there's this big old sign plastered across the window, sorry, we're sold out, and then whatever it said underneath it.
Soon to be under new management.
Well, I think it is, and that might be part of the problem from the original people. We had 2 local donut chains in town, a Royal Donut and a Mr. Donut. And Mr. Donut used to be okay until you would go get a dozen donuts and you open up the box and it smells like cigar smoke. And oh yes, I ordered the cigar donut. You know, Carl and Donna may like them, but
Or may not notice. Yeah.
yeah,
I
the
may
one
be in
on
that
Main
group
Street
myself.
was bad, and of course they eventually went out of business. But Royal Donut kind of flourished there for a good while. Now, of course, we have Dunkin' Donuts in Danville. Over there, they have Casey's gas stations, which are they're known for their pizzas, but they're also known for pretty decent donuts and a lot more competition. I just put it that way
Well,
between that and the bakeries and that.
we used to just have the Krispy Kreme donuts, and then Dunkin' Donuts made inroads, and now there's about half and half.
Hmm.
But yeah, Krispy Kreme. I recognize that. Well, not that particular store, but that logo.
Closest thing we have to a Krispy Kreme's is across the Wabash over in Covington, Indiana. There's a gas station that ships them in there from wherever that they're being made. And then we have County Market grocery stores in Danville that have the pre-box Krispy Kremes, and they're no good at all. Simply because who knows where they were made and how far they were shipped.
Oh, let me tell you, there have been times I've been driving down I-75 right there at the split and seen that way off in the distance, that little red neon sign that says hot fresh donuts. I'm like, I'm going to be late. It's
Word! Across 6 lanes of traffic to the exit.
Well, and not to go all Duck Dynasty on you, but I do love a good hot donut.
we also have
Right when they're made.
We also have Dunkin' Donuts, which they tried to go all new, like you said, they tried to turn into a newfangled coffee shop. It's kind of like, Dunkin'. They changed it to Dunkin's, like coffee shop. Oh, and we have donuts too. But one of my favorite things I've ever, and I almost wrecked my car when I heard this on the radio. Local news station got in trouble for this. They were talking about a wreck on 153 in between Northgate, right in front of Dunkin' Donuts. And the radio announcer goes, "They shouldn't have trouble finding a cop for that one."
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the chief of police for Chattanooga, Tennessee, called the radio station to complain about it.
Obviously not a donut fan.
No.
Probably I actually have any pictures.
Probably he likes the sausage McMuffins.
Hmm.
Oh, now, John, I've been noticing the sign for the Krispy Kreme on Brainerd. It looks really old. Like, how old is that particular Krispy Kreme?
That is actually the oldest Krispy Kreme donut shop in Chattanooga. It's actually down in East Ridge, but that's a part of Chattanooga, sort of. It's wonderful to go there. It's original store. They have a very small dining area, like two or three tables and a bar. They used to have a bar you could sit at with the bar, like Waffle House has the bar chairs.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have that, but now it's all countertop. I don't think they have the bar chairs anymore. But if you go over to the glass windows, you can actually watch the donut conveyor machine making the donuts from start to finish.
It's established in 1789, I do believe.
It is not that old, but
I know, but it was a good line.
But it's really funny to watch them like do a dozen donuts. I mean, it's like literally they're doing a dozen donuts like every 2 seconds. And then they got the delivery trucks. They do a lot of charity donut sales. The schools around here will sell donuts for charity, and a lot of the other charity organizations, they get a special price on them. Strangely enough, I won't mention any of their names, but a lot of the conventions in the area get a lot of donuts for Krispy Kreme donuts. So,
Yeah, I think the convention share for one of the conventions actually brought donuts, and I think those were Krispy Kreme when he brought them over from the over to one of my local anime club meetings.
Oh, and John's got 5 dozen right there.
you would be surprised at how many of the bakeries in the Chattanooga area will supply things for these science fiction and fantasy and horror conventions in the area.
Moon pie minis. No wonder you had trouble lifting it up.
I don't like the minis as well as I like the full-size moon pies.
You know, and if you heat them up, they're really, really good. You ever microwave a moon pie?
Mm-mm.
You can only microwave them for like 10 seconds, but you get that marshmallow inside all nice and gushy and a cup of coffee. Oh, they're wonderful. And then they have the different flavored moon pies. The one I was really excited about, but it turned out not to be as good as I thought it would be. They had a thin mint moon pie. And then they'll have the pumpkin spice moon pies around Halloween. They should be coming off the assembly line here any week now. And what was the other one they had? They have the vanillas and the bananas. Bananas are pretty good too. Into banana stuff.
Dunkin' Donuts has their pumpkin muffins out now, and man, heat one of those up and put a little bit of butter on it, and man, that is something else.
I went to a convention, and the fellow that runs it had ordered all these moon pies. And it turns out we didn't have quite as many people show up as we thought would. And so he had literally cases of moon pies left over. So I said, hey, can I get a couple of those cases that are left over? Says, my mom has foster kids. I'll take them over there and she can hand them out to all the foster kids next time she goes to foster care to me. He said, oh, sure, no problem. I take them home. My mom had already gotten the foster kids got adopted. So she didn't have any damn foster kids. So I'm stuck with 2 damn cases of damn moon pies. I don't really eat that often.
Now you need 2 cases of RC Cola and you are set.
Oh yeah, or if you can't get any RC Cola, just get some double cola. I mean, it's all Chattanooga anyways.
Tradition.
Totally.
You know, I like moon pies, but I drink a lot of beer, and moon pies and beer just really do not go together.
I can see that. Yeah, that's easily understood. There are a lot of different stuff that these 2 things do not go together, or these multiple things do not go together.
Sounds like something from Sesame Street or Electric Company. Which of these 2 things don't go together or whatever?
Yeah. Moon pies and beer, that's got to be on the list.
Probably something about the sweetness in the moon pie. I'm guessing.
Well, marshmallows and beer just really don't go together, period.
Yeah.
This is true.
Chocolate you can handle with beer. Cookies you could probably handle with beer. Marshmallow and beer just really doesn't cut it.
No, usually something salty with beer. Yeah.
Well, I did not care for that PBR coffee energy drink whatsoever. And I think part of the reason on that was, of course, the sweetness and the fact that it was beer. It's like, the sweet beer.
PBR energy drink? That's like non-flammable gasoline. What's the friggin' point?
Yeah, it is PBR
like
coffee energy drink.
It's like people that want that gasoline smell, but they don't want to set their house on fire.
they came out last year, and in cans there was like I think there was a 4-pack, and somebody was buying some, and so Laura went in on with it. She got 2 cans and gave me one of them to try, and I'm like, yeah, don't get any more of those.
Don't give me any more of those. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If,
Well,
if you
I
like
don't
them,
think
that's
she cared
fine.
for it
But
either. Yeah.
It's like decaffeinated coffee or non-alcoholic beer. What's the freaking point?
What was it? Gallagher used to tell that one joke about O'Doul's had the commercial that what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer, and he goes, "If you're not drinking beer, you're not a beer drinker."
Oh, I miss Gallagher. I really do.
I do too.
He was
I
great.
always wondered what happened. I know he got divorced, and then he did a few more tours after that, and then just kind of, I don't know what happened with him. I haven't seen him.
Well,
Hadn't had any HBO specials in a long time. So
he actually had to file a lawsuit against his brother for copyright infringement.
That's right. His brother kind of took over the show or something. And
Wow.
Carl's got to go to bed. So good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
If I'm in the green room tomorrow night, it's going to be late because tomorrow is my mom's birthday, and we've got to take her to a restaurant. And
well, you don't want to take her to the green room?
Happy birthday, Dan's mom.
My mom and the green room. One of these things does not go together.
Come on, it's not like we're gonna get you in trouble or anything, Dan.
Hey, we got one of my daughters in the audience tonight. My mom shows up. I'm not sure what I'd do, but I would definitely be prepared for a spanking. And I would have earned that. And this, not in one of the fun ways either.
Dan just tells you he's talking that way because he has plastic teeth in his mouth, but he got smacked.
No. Nobody here but me and my wife, and she hasn't smacked me ever. Oh. Wonder what
Always
I'm doing
a first.
wrong. Wonder what I'm doing wrong. We shall see.
I never knew that.
What?
Gallagher was born to a military family at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Wow.
That's something I didn't know either.
And apparently he didn't brag about it either.
What happens in the fort stays in the fort.
He frequented both the Comedy Store and the Ice House. He performed twice on the Tonight Show when Johnny Carson was hosting, though Carson disliked prop comedy. Really?
Well, now there were some others that you like during the 80s that I know he laughed that, you know, they bring a suitcase full of props, this and that, but you never really heard of those people.
He ran for governor in California in 2003. Out of 135 candidates, he came in 16th.
Well, he did talk some sense.
Right. They're talking about his conflict with his brother.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And then,
it really was.
I'm trying to see. It doesn't really say. Oh, he's been having chest pains, and he's been having minor heart attacks. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm very sad to hear that.
He had one that was so mild to serious, was what they said, and then they placed him in a medically induced coma.
Wow.
While doctors determined what was wrong with his heart. After replacing 2 coronary stents, doctors slowly brought him out of the coma. He quickly recovered and started talking to his family. His manager, Chris Sherry, stated that he was breathing on his own, moving, and telling jokes. That was back in 2012. That's the...
No more wielding sledgehammers,
It's
demolishing.
not a sledgehammer. It was a sledge-o-matic.
Sledge-o-matic, yes.
Ladies
seats, huh?
and gentlemen, the Amazing Master Tool Corporation, a subsidiary of Fly-By-Night Industries, has instructed me to tell you about the most amazing kitchen tool that's ever been invented. And don't you want to know how it works? First, you take an ordinary apple, place it between patented pans, and then you reach for the tool that is not a slicer, it's not a dicer, it's not a chopper, not a hopper. What could it possibly be? Sledge-o-matic. Okay, applesauce everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've seen quite a few Gallagher specials.
Yep.
Now Gallagher's going to come after John for that.
Nope. Not for free advertising. No.
After watching this show, his heart condition would just go like that. I mean, you know.
The line I remember best is he's standing there, just about ready to go for the first one, and he looks at the front row and goes, "Good seats, huh?"
Aren't they? Good seats, aren't they? Bam! Applesauce everywhere.
What I really like was he'd look up at the people in the balcony and go, "That's my people." Everybody else gets their ticket money. I get the ticket money from the balcony.
No, my favorite part was, sure, it works on an apple, but will it work on a watermelon?
Yeah.
And of course,
surprisingly well, even though the pans don't fit.
Yeah.
I would be more impressed with the apple because that's a smaller target.
Well, he had 2 big silver pans on top of it.
Yeah.
And he was a crazy guy with a big damn sledgehammer. So I believe that was actually a quote from Gallagher.
Now, another prop comic that I'm sure that Carson liked was Howie Mandel. I think one of the first times I ever saw him do the latex glove thing over his head and go like that, inflating it, was on a Johnny Carson episode.
And then, of course, Carrot Top used to do a lot of stuff like that. And then my favorite one was Agent J. I can't remember his last name. Jay Hodson. That's it. And he became the host of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah.
There's been a couple of them on there, and like I said, it's people you never heard of before, and you never heard of them again afterwards, but some of them were really, really incredibly funny. And Carson, like I said, they would pan, change the camera, switch to the camera and he's over like this, just laughing and, and how he would spin around. And much like how he would do if Robin Williams or one of them would come on there,
Jonathan Winters was one of his favorites.
Jonathan Winters. Yeah.
One of the things that people forget is that Jonathan Winters started off as a prop comic.
Really?
So he'd bring out a bag full of stuff and just pull something out of the bag and do an entire routine. Total improv. And that was one of the reasons why Robin Williams just adored Jonathan. And they worked really well together, let me tell you. There are lots of Carson shows where the two of them are on, and it's like Johnny just goes, I'm going to sit back and laugh, and y'all have at it. And occasionally I will interrupt for a commercial, but not as often as I should.
Somebody said one time that they would love to see blooper reels of when Jonathan Winters was playing Mark's son on I don't know if that was the final season of Mork and Mindy or whichever it was.
Third season,
And
I think it was.
and I told him, I said, well, yes, it would be great, at least on Jonathan Winter's part, but only because you would see some stuff that Robin Williams would do, but he Winters cracked him up so often it made Robin Williams more human and less, of what he usually was if he was on Carson or doing anything else,
But they did heterodyne off of each other quite.
Yeah. He became more of the fan.
Oh, no. It was like, it was more like a family reunion where you have a sibling and y'all have inside family jokes. And you don't even have to tell the whole joke. You just get to the germ of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you are rolling in the aisle. Everybody else is looking at you going, yeah, definitely something wrong with those two. Oh, boy. Let's see. Got about a minute before high flight there, John.
Oh, I got to do that again.
Yep, it's traditional.
I didn't even, or did you do the end of the show thing?
Yep, you just missed it.
I just missed it. I don't know why that never shows up. Like doing the
you don't get videos very well.
Yeah.
Well, but all the other ones now.
Your computer isn't fast enough. That's all.
No, I thought that at first, but the ones that you do the ba-dump bump and the kid falling over, I see that every time. The Porky Pig one, I see every time. Solve that.
Hit the button, Max.
That one was just for you, Bill.
Oh.
All right. Let me see if I'm reading the screen correctly. We've been going for 1 hour and 58 minutes and about 20 seconds. So it's about time for us to end this thing. And so Dan can start his show. If you want to see more of our comic frivolity and, well, basically a bunch of old guys that are really bored and have nothing better to do, go to Dan's show, Last Man Standing, and you can.
And you won't see anything funny at all.
Yes. But he can tell you more about sci-fi conventions and writers and hula dancers and everything else that shows up at sci-fi conventions. So. And now is the time of the night where we all say, "Good night, everybody."
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
It's been nice.
Vaya con Dios, amigos.
It's a beautiful day in somebody's neighborhood, but mine needs mowing. All right. Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up, the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Good night, Joe. Hope you get to feeling better.